Hi, welcome to Maria's junk folder, blah blah blah. Maria is my junk folder, you know it. So, first of all, how do you like my microphone? Yeah, the past two videos, the voice has been a bit low, so I kind of had to work with what I had. Today, I'm gonna translate the lyrics of Rosalia's new song, Omega, which is a song that I've really liked and that it has made me very sentimental. At the same time, that it has made me want to shake my butt. I'm sure there are translations out there. Rosalia has like a bunch of fans and she's like super famous. I know it. But mine is not gonna be so much of a reaction video or just a pure translation. I'm just gonna translate line by line. Porque para la gente que no lo sepa, yo hablo español. Even though I'm doing this in English. And I'm just gonna talk about what I think it means and what it brings me and how it relates to my life or not. Because this is a very self-centered channel, okay? So let's go. Let's start with the basics. Rosalia, you know Rosalia. If you don't know Rosalia, go check her out. She's probably the queen of Spain. She's like our biggest representation. There's like Rosalia, Penelope Cruz, Javier Bardem, Pedro Almodóvar. I think those are like our holy trinity. Our holy fourth trinity. I don't know if I'm leaving someone out. Then we have Ralphie Choo, that is an up-and-coming artist, even though I wouldn't say he's up-and-coming because he's been doing it for a few years already. He's one of my favorite artists coming out from Spain. I had his album Supernova on repeat. I don't know about music, so I don't know if I can describe it. If I can describe him, he has like very, how to put it, like contrasting sounds in his songs, like a lot of samples, a lot of turns that you wouldn't expect, and his lyrics are usually very funny. He plays a lot with like word plays, which I guess is normal in songs. I don't know, but he combines very well like English sentences translated to Spanish. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but that's the way that I feel his music goes. Like I'm listening to it and it's a Spanish word, it's a Spanish sentence, but I can feel that it comes from English. Something like that. The song is called Omega. Omega is a letter of the Greek alphabet, apparently. And looking at the meaning, it means like the end, the great end in like a Greek tragedy. It's the end of something, the ultimate limit. I think it will make a lot more sense once we start going into the song. I will put the Spanish sentence here and I will just translate it automatically to English so we go a bit faster, yeah? You and me lost among poppy flowers. Your eyes shine, they're two guns. The tongues hug each other, they're not alone anymore. You know when you look at someone and you just connect? And you stare and you stare and you can't keep your eyes away from them. And it's not uncomfortable, it's not awkward. You're just staring at each other. Two guns, like something came out of that person's eyes and got into her, like that chemistry, you know? The tongues hug each other, they're not alone anymore. Your tongue is not alone because you're with someone. That's pretty easy. En la memoria me has disparado. In my memory, you have shot me. That goes back to your eyes shine, they're two guns, no? I think it refers to like when you fall in love and you were not looking for it necessarily, like you had something going on, a recent breakup, or you were just not in that state, and suddenly you meet someone who changes that for you. And all your past experiences that have been negative, or all those things that you've been wanting to do, and the reason why you haven't been focusing on falling in love, it suddenly goes away. It's like that person makes you forget everything that it's in your past. It's just you and them in whatever present moment. And I feel like when you fall in love, the reason why you can still fall in love and why people fall in love like crazily, especially when you're young, is because it's easy to forget all the traumatic experiences that maybe are putting a wall in front of you. That's why I often hear older women saying that they don't think they can fall in love anymore, and it's because erasing memory can be, to fall in love you need to be dumb, you know what I mean? So erasing your memory once you grow up and you accumulate years is harder and harder. I don't know if that made any sense, but I think it made a lot of sense. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't consume, and I brag about it. So that in Spanish rhymes very well. I think is one of the highlights of the song. Pretty self-explanatory. You are the best, and before you, I was the worst. Now, I don't know what it is that she's referring to, but I've really... Okay, so I'm in love now. I have a boyfriend. I hate saying that sentence. It's so cringe. Oh my god. But I do have had this feeling of like there are certain things that I hated about myself, and he has helped me. It's not that he made me, but he has helped me to learn to love those things about myself and start accepting them. And sometimes now I think like, wow, I was so much worse before I met you. Not because I was objectively worse, but because I didn't like myself as much as I do now. And I certainly have the feeling that if you choose the right partner, like they will make you better. Because falling in love is such a, wow, it's like a car crash, you know? Unless you're like a totally balanced, perfect person, which if you are, good for you, but get away. No, I'm joking. Which is amazing, no? But if you're not, then you still have things to deal with and solved. Falling in love can really put you like face to face with all your issues and all your problems, all your whatever it is, insecurities, commitment issues, trust issues, whatever it is that you have, right? And you really have to be willing to open up yourself, because otherwise you're gonna lose that person, no? So you are the best, and before you I was the worst. If you've had a relationship that has helped you overcome problems or issues or whatever it is, it can really relate to you. It really relates to me, at least. That's why I'm doing this video, because a lot of the things she really describes very well. This feeling of like meeting someone, falling in love. Someone good. I mean someone good. Because for toxic, yeah, that's a really different song. But yeah. I've gotten sentimental. You're my omega. Before I make you finish, you're my omega. The before I make you finish, I'm not sure if it's sexual or not. I don't really understand that sentence. I feel like it can be a wordplay in between before I make you finish, you're my omega, omega being the end of everything. So it can be sort of like a wordplay, like you are my end, but I'm gonna take you there. But I don't know if that makes any sense, so I'm just gonna keep going. Now comes Ralphie Choo. I really like I said, I really like his way of writing. I feel like Rosalia and him have a lot of things in common, because Rosalia uses a lot of slang. Ralphie Choo uses a lot of slang, and their sentences are written as like very casually, like how you will be talking with someone, but the ideas behind it are much more deeper than it seems. And I know that it's something that every artist tries to do, but sometimes trying to write deep stuff doesn't mean it's gonna have substance, you know? You can sometimes overcomplicate it, and in the end you don't understand what the hell is happening. He says, and the further you go, everything reminds me of you, and the farther you go, everything reminds me. It does happen to me often that on the day-to-day life, my boyfriend goes to work, we do our own thing. I go to work, we do our own thing. You're in that spiral, and it comes to a point where you even appreciate having moments for yourself and doing whatever it is that you want to do. And you live in the assumption that all the objects that you have around the house, they're both of you. So nothing reminds you of each other because you are with each other. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like it does. Now, for example, when I travel to visit my family, the smallest things can bring back a sea of memories with him. And that's when I notice the most that he's gone, because little things become the foundation of our relationship. How can I put an example of this? It's the obvious things like sleeping by yourself when you're not used to and stuff like that, but it's also little things. For example, he takes a long time to put on his shoes because he likes to untie his laces. I don't like to do that. I just destroy my sneakers and put them straight away. That moment of me putting up my sneakers in a very sloppy way and him untying his laces and putting them on, that minute that we are at the door before heading out, That is something that I miss a lot when he's not here or I'm not here, and I'm just going on with my day and putting on my shoes and leaving. That, for example. Don't know if it had anything related to that. I just want to tell that story because I'm deep. Whatever. I'm from everywhere, and my gang covers for me. If I'm not what I want, God, free me. Dios me libre. How will you translate Dios me libre? If there's someone that speaks Spanish, please let me know. On a personal note, I know he probably means that he tours a lot, he travels a lot, he knows people everywhere, globalism, all that. When it comes to myself, is that I have a mixed background. Was born in Colombia, raised in Spain. Being raised in Spain as a non-white person is not always easy. My mom's from a different country than my dad, so my roots are not very established anywhere. I've always felt that my roots are my family, and wherever my family is, I can go. That's why I have such a easiness to move from one place to another, whether it's a house or where there is a country. Now I'm living in London, and I felt like part of London, and I was very happy to be here. And when I go back home, I feel comfortable as well. It's almost like, because I don't have very strong roots anywhere, I can be from anywhere. I'm happy wherever you take me, as long as I like it a bit, you know? And don't get me wrong, I feel very connected to Spain. Like, most of the things I consume are Spanish. So I feel that I'm from everywhere kind of relates a lot to me, and that my gang covers for me. My gang is my family and the friends that I keep in these places, which are not necessarily a lot, but they're strong, you know? They have strong pillars, they're solid. If I'm not what I want, God forgive me, God free me, something like that. Yeah, I'm starting to learn to do this one. This one's hard, but as someone who at points of her life has tried very hard to fit in, even though I didn't always, because people can be very basic. No, I'm joking. I just sound so shady, no, because, you know, sometimes you just don't fit in. Like I said, I have different roots, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm starting to learn this one, and it does feel nice to be who you are and who you want to be. I feel like this sentence can be understood in two ways. It can be, if I'm not what I want, for God to free me, as in, if I'm not true to myself, I'm the one that's losing. God forgive me, God free me, God make me free. But it can also be aspirational, as in, if I'm not what I want in the future, God, take me, something like that, you know? So both of them are very relatable, especially because I'm 25 years old. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I have goals and aspirations. So, and I feel like when you're young, your goals feel like if you don't get them, you will literally die. Which is not true, of course. Like, life goes on. You don't reach some goals, you find others. But I don't know. There is something about how dramatic youth is. Like, when you're a teenager, certain things feel like you're gonna die, and that in your 20s, it becomes a bit diluted, but it still feels like that, just with other things. Like, for some people might be, I don't know, marriage or whatever. But for me, it's like there are certain goals that I have, professional or personal. If I don't ever achieve this, I don't want to be seen by anyone. I want to lock myself up in a cage and never come out. I wonder if that happens as you grow older. I can be Celine Dion or a tigre. This sentence has been very, very misunderstood, because a lot of people don't know what tigre means, and at the same time has been very praised. Tigre, in Dominican slang, from like República Dominicana, how do you say in English? Dominican Republic, maybe, means like a gangster, like someone that achieves their goals, whatever means necessary. Yeah, being like a gangster, being like an achiever. I can be Celine Dion or a gangster. It has received a lot of praise. I don't think there are many guys in the music scene in Spain that are breaking the stereotypes of masculinity as much as maybe in the Anglo-Saxon world. We don't have our own Frank Ocean that I can think of right now. This image of like macho men precedes us. And Ralphie Choo, I don't know much about him. He's very mysterious, but he does seem to play a lot with his masculinity, with his clothes and with his gestures. So I think it pretty much means that, he can be sassy and fashionable, and he can be sensitive when he wants to be sensitive and delicate, but he can also get his shit done and be all these things that we usually associate to masculine, which is like high achiever and fierce and blah blah, which are just old stereotypes. He's just breaking stereotypes, I guess. Let's go straight to the last part of the song. I give myself the liberty. I'm yours without question. I've reached the end where everything started again. You're my omega. You're my omega. Oh, es que it's super pretty, no? I mean, the lyrics are like super nice. I give myself the liberty. I'm yours without question. I give myself the liberty to love again, I guess, if you've come out from a... I'm thinking about Rosalia and Raúl Alejandro. And now her with Jeremy Allen. In my head, this is all for Jeremy Allen White. It might not. It might be like with Tuya, like from a past relationship, but no. I've reached the end and everything started again. You're my omega. You're my omega. Aww. Of course, I'm applying it to my own life because, like I said, this is a very self-centered channel. No, but like specificity is key. We all go through the same stuff. We're not as special as we think we are, even though everyone thinks that they're special these days and that their stories are unique. And I'm not trying to be relatable either because I hate relatability. See, I burp like anyone else. I'm just saying that we all go through the same things. It's just that some people go through some and some people go through others. But there's always going to be someone that has the same life story as you in the world. Not 100%, but you know what I'm trying to say. So to that person, you can relate. I've reached the end where everything started again. You're my omega. You're my omega. You go through life and you go and you go and you live. And sometimes you get to the end of things, like life is nothing else than a series of ending and beginnings. For me, what she says that I've reached the end. When I met my partner, I felt like I had reached the end in the sense that I had been through some stuff in my life. A job that I didn't like. I was very confused in terms of what I wanted to do, where I was with some of my friends, stuff like that. And I went through a hard time, and that hard time left and passed, and I was feeling good. It's like I had layers of veil in my eyes, in front of my eyes, and you go through life and you start ripping off those layers of veil, and I had ripped off a new layer. And I was feeling like I was at the beginning of something. And it was not the beginning of anything. Like my life was still the same. But I remember very clearly that the week that I met him, I was feeling very open. I was not necessarily looking for a relationship there and there, now and there. But I was feeling open, like something was about to happen. And I don't know I'm not very spiritual, to be honest, nor am I religious. It was more in terms of the sentimental job that I had been doing within myself and the things that I was getting over with and over off. I met him in a different life of mine, a different part of my life started. There's no God that can erase what it's written for me. Tell me that you care, you care, you care. You're my omega, you're my omega. There's no God that can erase what's written for me. I don't believe in destiny. So I don't know about this line. I don't believe in complete freedom either. I don't think we are fully free. But I don't believe in God and I don't believe in destiny. I believe a lot in chance, in luck. The whole being in one place at a certain time can change your whole life. Being 1 second here, walking on the street can mean that you're okay. Being 1 second late and being over there can mean that a piano is going to fall on your head. What is that? Is that destiny? I think it's just luck. going back to love, I think the fact, for example, that my boyfriend and I met was pure chance. I don't believe we were destined. I think it was a beautiful coincidence that ended up changing my life completely and his, you know? Maybe I believe in this because the sense of destiny gives me so much, makes me feel so overwhelmed. Like, to think that my whole life is laid out just makes me scared. And I think that it makes some people feel calm. So to me, it sounds horrible because it means that some people are meant to have beautiful lives and some other people are destined to not. Because personally, I feel very lucky of the life I have. Like everyone, it has ups and it has downs, but I feel very lucky on the whole. I think I've been very lucky in my life. I have two parents that love me. I have a healthy family. I am healthy myself. Don't have any problems with my body or with my organs. My partner is healthy. I don't have major pain. Now I have a bit of pain because I'm on my period, but I don't have major pain. So why are other people born with what they're born with? I'd like to think, or why some people go through such altering. And I'm thinking of a family member precisely of mine. Why some people go through what they go through, and that it changes the whole life around. I'd like to think that it's chance, that you're not guilty, and that the same way that things went wrong, they can go well. I'd like to think that. Yeah. That's it. That's my analysis. More than an analysis, it's more like a diary, chronicle, oversharing video about Omega by Rosalía, Ralphie Choo, y cómo os traduzco del español al inglés, and how I translate from Spanish to English. And that's it, guys. Have a good life. Have a good life. Have a good day. I will see you on my next video that I'm going to film right now. Bye-bye.